Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to give you a small taste of the C programming language as an introduction to this tutorial series. So let's kick this off by opening the command prompt. And now I'm gonna open our favorite text editor, which in my case is Visual Studio Code. Okay, so in this lesson, what I plan to do is teach you how to compile and execute a C program properly. And then on top of that, what I'm going to do is teach you how to declare variables in the C program. And after that, I'm going to teach you how to operate on those variables using basic arithmetic operators such as the addition sign, the minus sign, the multiplication sign, and much more. So let's put this here, and now I'm gonna make a new C file. I'm gonna go to make a text document, and now I'm gonna call it ep1, and at the end of this I'll call it .c, and I click yes. Now one thing to note is that every C file needs a .c at the end of its name. The reason for this is because the computer needs to know if it is a C file and not just any other random file. Okay, so let's go to Visual Studio Code and open the file that we've just created. Now I'm going to enter the following, include stdio.h. Now you will see this a lot in C programs, but you don't have to worry about this now. What it does is that this statement will extract whatever is in this file right here. It will extract all the functions that I will need to use. So it allows me to use more functions effectively rather than none. Okay, so now I'm going to make a main function. So what a main function does is that I will link all of the other functions that you will create in later in your coding session. But for now, let's stick to just creating the main function. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you how to declare variables. So first off, I'll put in the data type, which is int. The int data type is the int data types, basically what it does is that it will tell the compiler that my variable will hold integer values. So int is short for integer. Okay, so my value, I'll call this a. So a will hold any integer value such as 1, 2, 3, 4. You can name your variable just about anything. You can literally name it anything, or you can name it your ex's name, or maybe your dream car's name. But for now, let's call it a for the sake of simplification. Okay, and in C, I can also add another variable. I'll call this b. Okay, so a and b, for the moment being, they don't have any values yet. So what we can do is assign them one value. So I can assign a the value of 1, or I can assign b the value of 5. Okay, actually let's assign this the value of 4. Okay. Now, one thing to note is that in a C program, at the end of every statement, you need a semicolon, or else the compiler will not know whether it is the end of a statement or not. If you don't do that, the compiler will compile it wrongly, and you will not get the results that you want to get. Okay, so now let's operate on these variables. So for example, I can change the value of A by operating on B. I will do B plus 4. Okay, so just like basic algebra, what A will hold now is the value of 8. This whole statement here will not change the value of B because B is not assigned anything. It does not come before the equal sign. Okay. So now what I'll do is give another example. So for example, B times 2, A, B minus 3, A equals B modulo 3. Okay, so what modulo does is that it will take the remainder of the division. All right, it will take the remainder of the division. So if we take 5 divided by 3, the remainder will be 2. So A over here will have a value of 2. So that's simple enough. Now I will introduce to you guys a new function, which is called the printf function. Okay, so what the printf function does is that it will print whatever is in its arguments onto the command prompt after the program has been compiled and run. Okay, so now let's put in something that the program can print off. So for example, the variable A has value, and I'm gonna put in a format specifier. I'll teach you guys about this in the next video, but for now let's stick to the basics. So this format specifier will be %d. Okay, so comma, I'll put the name of my variable in the next argument of printf, which will be A. Okay, oh, I think I should close this. Okay. Right, so now I have the printf value done, the printf function done, sorry. I will copy and paste it below every statement here in this block. So that allows me to see what the value of A is after it has been operated on. Okay, so now I will end my program with a return function. I'll explain why we need this in later videos, but for now let's stick to the basics. Okay, so I'm gonna Control S this to save, and now I'm gonna navigate to my C file. cd desktop cd C tutorial, and now I'm going to compile my C file into an executable file. So an executable file is a runnable file. You can run it so your program can be fleshed out. It can be seen onto the command prompt. gcc ep1.c -o, and we can name our executable file just about anything. You can name it new.exe. The .exe needs to be there because it's the end of the file. Just like I said before, the computer needs to know that it is an executable file and not just any other file. Okay, so now tap enter, and now I'm going to run new.exe. Okay, so we have our printf statement in running, but there's a problem. All of the lines that have been printed off are on the same line. We want them in their own individual lines. And to do that, what I'll do is put a \n in every one of these printf statements. So I'll do that. What this is a special character that that puts the next line that will be printed off onto the next line. So I'll show you how this works in a moment. Okay, I'm gonna save this just like before. Now I am going to compile it. Oh, there's an error there. Oh, I forgot, quit. Control-S. Okay. Now I am going to run it. There we go. And now it works. \n puts all of the printed lines, the next printed line, sorry, onto a new line. So that's the special character for you today. Okay, so I hope you understood all of this. I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.